Let's be honest, if you see a girl post a blurry mirror selfie with freshly cut bangs, something just went down. Not always a disaster, but never just a haircut. There's a moment in girlhood, sometimes more than once, when everything feels like too much. And in that moment, there is one universal solution. You grab the scissors. Forget deep breathing or calling your mom. This is the ritual. You spiral, you chop. You emerge with uneven layers and a weird sense of peace. So why do we do this? Is it emotional self-sabotage dressed up as self-care? Is it rebellion, reinvention, or just the cheapest form of therapy? Whatever the reason, the meltdown. Makeover has been a cornerstone of girl culture for decades. And whether it's iconic or delusional, it works, sort of. This is not just about hair. It's about chaos, control, and the universal urge to feel something other than heartbreak. Okay, let's talk about scissors. Because when a girl's world starts crumbling, I'm talking heartbreak, burnout, existential crisis, or even just a bad Tuesday, the first thing to go is the hair. Now, this isn't random. Hair has always been power. Think about it. In myths, in religions, in every makeover montage you've ever seen, hair is symbolic. It's control. It's rebellion. It's how we say, I can't change the situation, but I can change how I show up. It's more than a style choice, it's a self-reset. And unlike therapy or a breakup talk, a haircut doesn't wait for closure. It gives you a clean line, a literal one, where before ends and after begins. Because here's the truth. Sometimes we don't want to fix the mess. We want to become someone who's above it. Someone who walks into the same life with a slightly different part and suddenly feels unbothered. And it's not always about looking better. It's about feeling different. When everything's spiraling and your inbox is full of chaos and your heart feels like a group chat with no closure, chopping your hair off feels like reclaiming the plot twist. It says, I'm not waiting for someone to save me. I've got a pair of scissors and a YouTube tutorial, and that's enough for now. Is it impulsive? Yes. Is it sometimes deeply unflattering? Also yes. But it's also a moment of agency in a world that often feels like it's moving too fast to hold on to anything. So no, she's not just cutting her hair. She's declaring war, or peace, or maybe just closing the chapter in the most satisfying way she knows how. So here's a weird thing no one really prepared us for. Having a breakdown is kind of trendy now. No, really. What used to be considered a rock-bottom moment has turned into something surprisingly aesthetic. We're no longer hiding our meltdowns in the privacy of our bedrooms. We're filming them, editing them, adding soft lighting and maybe a vintage filter. Because if you're going to emotionally spiral, you might as well make it content. This is what we call the breakdown aesthetic. It's the messy bun, the oversized hoodie, the smudged eyeliner you didn't bother to fix. It's the sad playlist, the blackout mirror selfies, the texts you half write then delete. And instead of hiding it, we post it. We meme it. We romanticize it. Let's be clear, this doesn't mean people aren't struggling. It's just that social media has blurred the line between self-expression and performance. Now, showing your emotional chaos is almost a genre. There's crying in your car content, post-breakup content, identity crisis content. It's like the saddest parts of your life get their own mini-series, complete with music, captions, and sometimes a really good outfit. And what's wild is, we all kind of get it. Because having a breakdown now feels weirdly universal. Life is hard, the world's a mess, your situationship didn't text back, and your oat milk is expired. So yeah, of course you're spiraling, but you're doing it in your favorite hoodie under LED lights while lip-syncing to Phoebe Bridgers. That's not just a mood, it's a whole brand. And sure, some people might say it's unhealthy to turn pain into a trend, but maybe it's not about glamorizing the breakdown. Maybe it's about reclaiming it, turning something messy and painful into something you can laugh about later or turn into art, or at the very least, a mildly viral post. So yes, we're still crying in our rooms, but now we're adding background music. We're editing, we're processing, and posting. Because at this point, if you're not documenting your breakdown, did it even happen? All right, it's time to address the moment. Because you can't talk about public breakdowns, hair, and media spectacle without saying her name. Britney Spears. It's 2007. Low-rise jeans are still somehow legal. And Britney, one of the most famous women on earth, walks into a salon and shaves her head. No glam team, no filter, no explanation, just clippers. And chaos, and the world, instead of pausing to ask why, grabs the popcorn. We didn't treat it like a cry for help. We treated it like primetime television, like it was the Super Bowl of celebrity meltdowns, the jokes, the memes, the late-night punchlines. She was a punchline before she even got a chance to speak. Here's what people forget. Britney wasn't just being dramatic. She was a new mom. She was being stalked, criticized, sued. Every time she went outside, 10 grown men shoved cameras in her face while she tried to buy Starbucks in peace. She was being called a bad mother, a bad performer, a bad woman, all at once. And when she finally broke, we called her crazy. The media didn't ask if she was okay. They asked, what did she do to her hair? And that's where it hits different. Because this wasn't just a haircut. This wasn't about bangs or layers or a bold new look. This was an act of resistance. It was the most visible woman in the world saying, I don't want to be pretty right now. I want to be left alone. But we didn't let her. Because female pain, especially when it's messy and loud and unfiltered, is entertainment. As long as she cries in HD, as long as she breaks down gracefully. We say things like she's spiraling or she's lost it, but what we mean is she stopped being palatable. And we still do it. Sure, now it's more aesthetic. The sad girl breakdown has better lighting and a Lana Del Rey soundtrack. But underneath the Pinterest boards and cry in the bathroom, TikToks, it's the same formula. We love when women fall apart, as long as it's pretty. The crazy girl isn't just a character, it's a trap. It's what happens when women stop performing perfect and start showing real emotion. And suddenly, we're not talking about grief or trauma or burnout. We're talking about drama. She's not exhausted. She's unstable. She's not hurt. She's hysterical. And that's not mental health discourse. That's misogyny in mascara. But here's the thing. What Britney went through wasn't just personal. It was public property. And we all watched it happen like it was a Netflix miniseries. Except there was no pause button, no privacy, no consent. And maybe now, all these years later, we're finally starting to understand it wasn't funny. So the next time someone makes a joke about a shaved head or a meltdown moment, remember that it's never just a breakdown. Sometimes it's the only way a girl can say, leave me alone. So let's talk about what comes after the scissors. Because once the tears dry and the hair's on the floor, something weird happens. You kind of feel amazing, lighter, louder, sharper. Like the version of you who finally snapped might have actually been the brave one. People love to call it a breakdown. But what if it's just clarity? Like maybe you weren't spiraling. Maybe you were waking up. Hair is more than hair. We know this. It's history. It's softness. It's safety. But when you change it, you're allowed to change everything else too. Your habits, your playlist, the way you text back. You cut the ends, and somehow you also cut the narrative. And it's not always for peace. Take Willow Smith. She shaved her head mid-performance while singing Whip My Hair. It wasn't about beauty, it was a mic drop. A reset button with, clippers. That's the thing. Girls don't cut their hair to be cute. They do it to escape versions of themselves they're done performing. The clingy girl, the chill girl, the girl who reads too deeply into a Spotify playlist. Of course, it might still be a distraction, a gorgeous little detour from doing the actual work, therapy, grief, closure. But sometimes, style is survival. Sometimes you fake the reinvention until it feels real. And when the haircut settles, and the world doesn't fall apart, and that's when it hits, you're still here, still standing, still slaying, just with better bangs. So, what did we actually witness here? A haircut? Sure. But also a ritual disguised as a new look, an identity crisis with layers and curtain bangs. Because whether it's Britney in 2007, your best friend post-breakup, or that one random girl on TikTok who swears the wolf cut changed her life, chopping your hair is rarely just about hair. It's about reclaiming the plot twist. It's not always dramatic. Sometimes it's just Tuesday. But the next time a girl says, "I think I'm gonna cut it," don't panic. Just know, something's ending, or starting, or maybe both.